Hey, Dave O'Sullivan here, and in this video, I want to give you one question in the subjective assessment that's really going to cut through the noise and really allow you to identify what your patient's attitudes and beliefs are around their problem. Now, the answer to this question is then going to dictate how much time you need to spend explaining things or potentially raising yellow flags that we might need to reconceptualize in order to give the patient a better outcome. So Louis Gifford, in his books Aches and Pains, he has this mnemonic of A, B, C, D, E, F, W, okay, and the A stands for attitudes and beliefs, okay. Now, this one question that he mentions in his book, again, I'm probably going to paraphrase it here a little bit, but the one question I like to ask patients in the subjective assessment is, what do you think is wrong, or what do you think the problem is? Okay, so the answer to that question, that's going to give you valuable information of how much time you need to spend potentially on doing some of these false beliefs, or if they don't have any false beliefs and they're pretty open-minded, then that is great news for us because it really allows us to crack on with the rest of the session. So for example, if somebody says, I said to the patient, what do you think is the problem? And they say, oh, my doctor said I've got a slipped disc, and if I do the wrong turn, I could end up in a wheelchair. Okay, that is a very, very different situation. Or we're going to have to work really hard in the initial assessment to put that patient at ease. Scenario B, the patient might say, oh, well, I've just hurt my back and I think it's a muscle strain or something like that. I just want to know what's wrong with it. Okay, so again, two very, very different patients, and they can present with the same back pain. Okay, so patient A, we're going to spend a little bit of time really reassuring the patient, making them feel more at ease, because again, if you think about the adaptive responses, okay, or the maladaptive responses, as Louis Gifford says, to somebody like that who's afraid to bend over, they're going to be carrying a lot of tension in their body. Okay, now as we go through the assessment, we could say something like, okay, the low back muscles won't relax, this won't relax, this won't relax. But is that just a consequence as their attitudes and their beliefs about the problem? Okay, so as we go through this objective assessment, the answer to that critical question, what you think the problem is, that can give us a lot of information, excuse me, and actually identify why they're maybe using some of these movement strategies. Okay, so in your subjective assessment, to understand the attitudes and the beliefs around the patient that you may or you may not need to intervene with in that initial assessment, that critical question, what do you think is wrong, or what do you think the problem is? Okay, it's a very, very good question. It'll cut through a lot of the noise, and it can answer a lot of your questions into these strategies and these behaviors, which is the B for Louis Gifford, into what they tend to do then. Okay, so give it a try. Let me know how you get on. If you're looking for more structure with your subjective, your objective assessment, and then you want a full structured step-by-step approach to take your patients all the way through to the final session, then just leave me a comment below. Just say yes, please, and I'll send you more information, or feel free to send me a message, and I'll give you details of how we've helped well over 900 therapists all over the world now become the go-to physios in their town.